Hey, my peeps! It is the Goose Man coming back at you with a great conversation that I'm looking forward to having with Richard Martin on where I am on the West campaign and his thoughts on my unit distribution and my unit use and things that I'm missing, things that I'm doing well, and just get his overall very seasoned pro opinion. Okay, Richard.
Unfortunately, I'm not as experienced with the West. I've never even gotten past like 40 that first scenario in 44.
Oh,
So
really?
Robbie plays strategy. Yeah, I haven't even done that much, but Robbie plays strategy games. That's the best playthrough on YouTube. But that was just Rommel.
Rommel
I
isn't.
did get a chance to look. Yeah, Rommel's is so trivial nowadays, right? That it was actually, if you watch this playthrough, it's really hard. Like Rommel in Grand Campaign West is really hard.
I did it on Guderian blind, and I needed to redo the first battle on 45 because that first battle you need to get a marginal victory, and I lost. So I had to retry that one. But other than that, the one that I was
I
most proud of was being able to figure out and pull off the Dunkirk 45 on the first blind playthrough on Guderian. That was pretty impressive.
You get a lot of turns on that one. That helps, isn't
I
it? Like
didn't think
45
so.
turns.
No, no, no.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's the English one. That's
Oh,
the final one. The Dunkirk 45. That's the one where you have to rush to Dunkirk and like destroy.
oh, I, I forgot what it's called, but yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Good grief, that was a. I wasn't expecting to win, so I had already set up like a little blurb for my expected loss, where I was going to show the great scene from Anchorman where he says, 67% of the time, it works every time. That doesn't even make
Right.
sense.
By the way, I did get a chance to look at Etna South in Messina,
Uh huh.
and I think you invented new tactics. I'm pretty sure you invented new tactics.
Well,
Or no, it wasn't the Etna South one. Is that the one where you were putting units out and putting new ones in?
um,
I just remember you on the last turn you did something ingenious, or the 11th turn you did something ingenious. You exited something, and then you put your pioneer in the major victory hex, backed up by two pieces of artillery, and then the next turn, the pioneers went in a truck to that victory hex, and they got ambushed.
yeah, that was Etna South because that
Etna
I was
South, yeah.
yeah I was getting decimated a lot quicker than I thought I would in that little southern region that I had to exit out my spent units and bring out new units.
But
And I,
you invented new tactics just to
uh,
like survive. That wasn't the only tactic. I think you did some other crazy stuff on that map, but I thought that was really interesting. Just from watching that play and having watched you play, I think that first thing that comes to mind is you can't overstrengthen artillery. So the prestige situation on ultimate mode is totally insane for Grand Campaign West. You would agree with that, right? Like the prestige is just not there.
and no, I have more than what you were playing with, and I copied some of the tactics that Huxley pulled off when he played Messina. I sent you that playthrough. Did you watch that one, perchance?
I hadn't had a chance to watch that one.
Okay, that was very creative because Huxley is very creative. The way he played that, he ended up, I think, based on viewing of it and not getting a day by day explanation of what he did, it appears that he started out with selling off almost all of the Italian equipment because you don't take that into the next scenario. So you want to use that to get prestige, right? And then he bought like 5 Fallschirmjägers, and he deployed 3 of them right away on the side that you have to drop or have to have ground units on, and then two the next turn and drop those. So you immediately had 5 over on the side that you need to have it on. And then he had 2 or 3 of the cheapest units, Italian units, that he transported over. But what he bought is he bought like a buttload of AA. And then he just held out on those victory hexes that you absolutely must hold in order to get the decisive victory. And he just handled everything there and then transported over the various 88s that he bought until he won the scenario on turn 7. It was a very quick playthrough. I didn't want to copy that. I didn't want to copy that because in my opinion, the reason why the West is so difficult is because people are looking to minimize the amount of. You only have so many turns. You only have so many units, and you only have so much of a chance to build up those units because they're not going to get a lot of kills. You need to get lucky with the first hero that you get on a unit, because it'd be difficult to build that unit up to a second hero.
I think that's true. But to get back to my original point, you don't have the prestige to do what you really want to do. Right? Mm-hmm. You don't have the ability to just get tigers. Because of that, you're overstrengthening units you shouldn't. I wanted to make the point. Have you noticed that you are overstrengthening artillery? So you have spent hundreds.
I usually just
spent hundreds of prestige.
Well, if
hundreds, it's got to be.
Because I'm not overstrengthening. This I overstrengthed at the very beginning of the first mission, and I haven't lost any of that overstrength. And I haven't been deploying him because he has 400 400
but you
experience.
But
I usually do the Stoogs.
But you've definitely overstrengthened. Yeah, but it's not a good idea. It's not just the Stoogs, but you've done it with some of your Toad. Yeah. It doesn't matter because the prestige is too tight. The prestige is way, way, way too tight. You're saying your prestige situation is okay, but it's absolutely not okay. You don't even have the prestige to fully upgrade your units. You're wasting prestige on overstrengthening things that you shouldn't, which is also affecting your soft cap. I don't know what I didn't get the chance to look at your soft cap, but it probably wasn't that great.
It was 100%.
In those later. Oh, it was 100%. But early in 42-43 West, your soft cap is taking a hit.
Yeah. Even
worse on top of all of the. So that's one thing I would immediately improve on if you were to run through this again, is don't overstrengthen your artillery. It might not even be worth overstrengthening the rocket artillery, because if you look at your runs you're doing, you're not even using your rocket artillery.
No, because you're right there. It's expensive.
Right, and it's affecting your soft cap. So I think 1 rocket artillery is okay, but I wouldn't even overstrengthen it. I know this sounds blasphemous, but I think it's just too risky. Those ships, I saw on your Messina, you have these planes that are attacking your anti-aircraft guns. It's, imagine you had a 1-star 88, and it wasn't enough to deter the bomber from attacking you. So you wasted that prestige, overstrengthening it.
I haven't been overstrengthening my 88s.
Well, something bad happened where a tank swung around and hit your 88 that had overstrength.
Oh,
that was just bad positioning. Messina, I think it happened.
Oh, maybe I did have my +1 movement overstrengthened from that first scenario again.
And you lost a bunch of it. It took a really serious beating. Yeah. So I think Red Camp West is different from East, where Soren's method is you're going to build them up quickly in experience and then put the overstrength on, and then they're not going to take damage. I don't think you can do that in West. And since the procedure is so tight, I think you have to avoid overstrengthening as much as possible. The fighters are the exception. I actually think the fighters, you might have to dump 2 points of overstrength on because
Okay,
you need to deter them.
let's go there. Let's discuss the fighters in depth. I noticed when I watched your playthrough on Taranto, or no, what is this one called? Is this Taranto?
Cantanzero? Is
No,
that how you say it?
Taranto. No, no,
I
it's for this battle, Toronto. That you did
okay.
not that these you had at like 10, and I think this one at 11. Did you not know that their 12 strength is their normal strength? That's not over strength.
You know what? I probably didn't know that. I didn't know that. No.
Oh, okay. Because I thought maybe you were just trying to have them tamped down because of the soft cap. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
was.
no.
But so
These are
oh,
two of
so
the
okay.
best units in the game, is because they're starting out as 12 strength rather than 10 strength. That's their normal
Oh,
rank.
that's actually something useful to know. Uh, so you can give them regular replacements and they go up to 12.
Correct.
Wow,
So I've been
interesting.
I had him, I think, at 1 star or close to 1 star, but I didn't let him keep it. I just gave him regular replacements, and this one I already have at 1 star after Toronto, because I replayed Toronto. So the one that you saw, the one that I sent you, I had a completely different idea to play that, and it worked beautiful. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
showcasing that one.
I'm optimist. I'm optimistic you're going to do something special on this map. I came close, but I think you're going to do something really special on this one. I think there's room for massive improvements. But anyway, when you're watching, so Messina, something happened in Messina that I think probably shocked you. You had a 10 strength fighter. Was that at 1 star?
This one,
That fighter at Messina, and then a plane came up and just whacked it.
yeah, yeah, it
uh,
killed it. It killed it the first time I had to save scum that one. I think twice because I
so
wanted to
in the
just
West, the Air Force, you agree with me that the Allied Air Force is completely bananas. I actually think it's superior to the German Air Force.
yeah, in many respects.
And I think you have to get those planes, those FWs, to 2 stars immediately
Yep.
somehow. Because in any other mode, except for Field Marshal in Ultimate, they're at 2 stars. And it's enough if they have the overstrength on them to prevent these disasters from happening. But they're also FWs, and so it's harder to get them experience. And I think somehow, I really, really wish Soren would play West because
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know what he would do. Like if he did like a Rommel Field Marshal, like how would he deal with the fact that his Air Force isn't dominating? Because if you get these 1 star FWs, the Allied Air Force is not afraid of them.
Does not respect him at all. Well, he'd have to
And
play
it one
on
shots them.
Landstein difficulty because
Oh
that's the
yeah, he should
difficulty there.
play. He would have to play it on Rommel first and then Manstein. But yeah, what how do you handle? Well, actually, Manstein might be okay because you don't have the experience hit. Um, I don't think West was ever intended to be played on Ultimate because the Air Force is killing you, and it
Yeah.
was killing me. And if you will probably have lots of questions about why I was playing the way I was playing, it was primarily to protect my Air Force. Like I was scared to show my planes.
Because they didn't
That's
respect
not
him.
how it. That's right. And you're like, okay, how in the hell do I handle this? So this kind of brings up a point you were talking about with Huck. I'm wondering if we actually need more AA. So we bring an 88, we get a 12.8 later,
I
but
changed him to an 8.8.
maybe we need like another 88,
Well,
and we're defending a lot.
yeah. But you have to be
So
aggressive if you're going to go for the decisive.
yeah, but how do you avoid getting your Air Force shredded?
Well,
It's like, you know,
they
I
respect
think you're
Heinrich Barr and Arato Bella, the three defense, one
correct.
initiative. And now I have Priller up to 2 stars, and now that I have this other FW up to 2 stars, they're respecting it. They're not attacking it directly.
Correct.
I should
So
sell
you
this one off. I think this one has. Oh no, not that one. Good grief. This one.
this is too slow. That's an interesting idea. What if you replace that with an 88? Like it's so like you brought two fighters. That was really good. Your intuition on bringing two fighters, it was 100% correct. It's absolutely necessary. But I think that we don't have enough air defense. So we bring an 88, and then we should buy an 88 at some point. Maybe like Dieppe. Dieppe might be a good battle for that because you have easy tanks you can farm on. And then you have three 88s, and then you could sell your FW, one of the FWs. And I think maybe getting away from so many planes. I don't trust the planes if you're getting the message here. Maybe you focus and you see who got lucky in a couple of battles on the FWs and push that one plane to get to 2 stars because you need to get them to 2 stars, and I think you need to overstrengthen them too,
I'm not going to
which sucks. But
overstrength. I'm not going to overstrengthen. I might overstrengthen Priller as we move forward, but once these lose their overstrength, I'll be switching them to an FW. Or actually, I might just try to hold on to them until I can get the ME-262. When does that come out? That comes out late.
isn't that 45?
I'll have
Is
to
that like
check
a
that.
fighter jet?
Yeah, that's the fighter jet.
There's
And
there's no way you can afford a fighter jet.
I can.
Honestly, I don't even know if you can afford the FW. So isn't the FW like 600? How much is the FW? Isn't it super expensive?
That
I
583.
mean,
What do you mean I can't afford it?
yeah, like, yeah. So I don't know if Heinrich. Do you think Heinrich Barr is strong enough late war as a BF? Well, actually, doesn't the BFK come out? So the BFK is really good.
You
BF
think?
109K. Isn't it really good? Or maybe that's the Doctor's mod. I can't remember. But this is a major problem. The Air Force. I am really confused how we deal with it because for 43 and 44, I think two fighters at 4 stars are good enough. But you don't have the prestige to upgrade them. So the prestige problem is really really hurting you. Maybe you shouldn't sell the other FW because you might want to have a couple hard hitters. Uh, yeah, this is
Well,
kind of confusing
I have
how to build up
five.
the.
In my opinion, I have 5 good fighters. I don't think I need this sixth one.
Well, maybe what you do is what you have five. You have five fighters in total. Not. Oh,
Correct.
you have that one.
Yeah, this
Okay.
experimental one has +4 defense and +1 spotting. He's a
Yeah.
BA, and plus he's 12 strength as starting out. Again, as this
Yeah.
base. So once you get him up to a couple stars, he's going to be killer.
Maybe. I think we need another air defense though. Maybe it's up in the air how many fighters we need, but I think we need another 88. And we're defending a lot, so that helps the 88s.
I don't know.
I don't know if we need mobile AA for these maps because we're defending all the time.
I saw you had a mobile AA on this map.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake, and they don't get experience as fast. I'm really worried about the lack of experience. That almost might suggest that we bring two 88s. How about
At the
those?
start,
How crazy?
that would be
Yeah, how
absolutely
crazy is
insane.
that?
I
Well, the
don't
thing
think you
is,
could.
imagine you did have two 88s. Don't you think your air defenses would just be so much stronger? Because the thing is, this is what's crazy about 42, 43 West is you really need air defense at the second half, right? but it doesn't support fast mobile operations in the first half. But
You
I'm
need
much more.
mobility on West all the way through.
What
All
if
the
you brought what if you brought an experienced 7-1?
I don't like I'm not a big fan of AA. They're limited in their role. I like the 88s because they can be an anti-tank
Well, the
and
thing
an
is, look
anti-air.
at what's happening in the West.
That's why I
If you
changed
look at
him
what's
to an
happening if you look at the West, the Air Force is dominant. Like the Allied Air Force, there are so many planes
88. Yeah.
that you have to rethink your entire approach to how to play. So I think
You still have
AA
to try
is,
and set up traps if at all possible, and that's why the
but
limited use of the 88s plus having a fighter right there to nip them twice is
it's
an
not enough.
advantage.
My point is, it's still not enough. You need more traps. So, like, I was looking at your playthroughs. You were not doing enough against the Air Force.
I tried.
I know you tried, and it was
Messina's
brilliant. But
insane.
I think we need more. So I'm just throwing out possibilities. Do we bring two 88s and two fighters, or do we bring an 88 and a mobile unit? There are uses. I mean, there are definitely, especially in the second half of 42-43 West, mobile AA would help you a lot.
But what would you bring? A 7-1 with what hero?
You probably don't have one, so maybe you bring an 88 and upgrade. Bring in your second 88 and upgrade it at the start screen to a 7-1 if you want it. Or is it better to just keep it in 88 because you will be defending a lot? An
I
88 is still pretty good as an air defense unit in 44.
Yeah, the 88. I like using 88s all the way through in their role, but the 88 is you need mobility in the West because all the missions require you to not only defend, they're not really defensive as much as they are offensive. See, for example, as you have this, you need to defend this, but then you also need to come all the way over here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I, so I would probably be bringing one less tank if I brought another 88.
Are you going to
But the
try
88s,
42-43?
no, I don't have time, but I'm just trying to help speculate. I'm really worried about your core because I was watching the Cena in Edna South, and you were having as much trouble as I was having. Uh, it's just like a constant emergency evacuations.
Watch that
Very
first playthrough at
historic.
Taranto and have some fun with that. That I got
So
my butt handed to me
so I think, yeah. So you get 13 units, right?
at the start.
I
Yeah.
actually I actually think you would have to have a core. If we were to do that, you would probably have to have 4 SE tanks instead of splitting it. I don't know. I want strong infantry though, and the SE infantry are so good. This is so tricky. They don't give you enough core slots because you can't be mobile and adequately defend the air. I
Well,
don't see a way around it.
I think that's why they have West set up so much. So like they do is it's smaller amounts of units. It's smaller force. You have to really plan out exactly what you can accomplish.
So, but my issue is the Air Force is out of control. So yes, you have achieved great victories with this mobility at the start of 42-43, but you are getting crushed by the Air Force, and it doesn't get better. So you have to realize, like, from now on, you are constantly under pressure from Allied Air Force. You just don't have enough. Um, I would love to see what Soren would do on Manstein because so his whole strategy is I will completely control the air and set all these traps, but you have enough core slots for that. So I guess the trade-off is
Has Soren
you
ever
save
played the
prestige.
West?
I don't think so. Well, maybe casual,
He's
maybe
never.
like before videos. He
Right.
might have played at West, but not on YouTube.
No, he doesn't have anything on
Uh,
YouTube.
and I'm also, anti tanks
I should sell
are
this.
not. I don't think anti tanks are impressing me.
Well,
Maybe you bring 288s, two fighters, Rudel, so that's five, and then you got your four SE units, nine, and then four infantry. Maybe you don't bring any artillery.
I brought this guy.
It's great. Well, I'm just wondering, especially as I'm watching you play, you're not even using them, right? Maybe we don't bring any artillery. How crazy is that?
Well, that totally changed the way I played the first scenario because
Right.
yeah.
So what if you bring Oladir, Wernsberger, your two SE infantry, and then you bring Kirscher and Rondorf, and then you have your two SE tanks. And the point is, those infantry units are all strong enough to stand on their own. Like SE infantry are very strong, and then Wernsberger and Oladir, nobody will mess with.
So
And then you just
let
buy
me
the
ask you
artillery.
this: watching your playthrough, you had Ola Deer, and then you had Warnsberger. Did you have Warnsberger as a Gebirgsjäger or a Kratchison? I think I'm the
I don't
first to
think
go
I
to
hadn't.
Kratchison. You
Yeah,
were
yeah,
using a
that was brilliant.
Kratchison. You use a
Yeah, that
Kratchison, but
was
the one that's the
yeah, but
one.
that was I would do it the way you did it if I were to do it again. I think that was a very key insight.
The
Um,
mobility really
Hornsberger's
helps.
is really good. Exactly. So I think if you brought two SE infantry and then you brought Oladir and Hornsberger, they are strong enough by themselves that they can resist without artillery support.
Now,
Assuming Hornsberger was 3 stars. I think if Hornsberger was 3 stars, that would be the point. He would be fine.
I don't think he was.
And the
I
SEF,
don't believe he was 3 stars when I started this. He is just now 3 stars. So
well, you can get him to 3 stars after the first scenario, right?
yeah,
It depends how aggressive. You have to be very aggressive with him
it's
to
difficult
put.
because Crouchison aren't that strong
Well, they have high initiative, so you have to use them against the right things.
in the right area.
Yeah, but once he's 3 stars, then he's good. Like he'll be good probably through 44 even. So
You
then you
as a
have your four strong
conscript,
infantry.
you as a conscript are not very strong. You've
Yeah, I
got 50
actually
kills.
so I like the idea of maybe we get the two conscripts and we use those a lot to quickly get stars because they get a lot of experience pretty easily if you use them right. So anyway, my point is maybe we don't bring artillery, and then the next scenario you start buying it.
That has
Then
merit.
at DF,
It just
and then
you
at
do have to
DF
play
you
that first scenario completely different.
correct, but I think Oladir is really strong to hold certain areas, and then you're going to send tanks over there. So, and then what I'm thinking is you didn't use 4 level bombers at Messina, and I think it makes a huge difference if you do
But they give you two.
because you need to destroy.
You're
I would
saying
bring all of them because if you wipe those ships out, you were taking a crazy amount of damage in the
yeah.
first few turns from the ships. So you would basically level the place with the level bombers, and it's going to take you like 4 turns probably to get it under control. But it's worth it because there's a lot of damage they were doing.
Yeah.
And then if you had 288s plus the 12.8, then you have all the air defense that you need, and you can hide your weaker fighter away somewhere. Because one of the problems is you have an inexperienced 12.8 on that map. Now imagine you replace it with the experienced 12 with an experienced 88, and the 12.8 hangs out in the back and is away from the action.
Yeah,
Oh wait, and then
it
it
was
can.
that battle that got him the first star that I just, what is it? Gave elite replacements because I wanted to retain that star. It really makes a big difference if they have stars of experience.
And I also think it makes it. Can you downgrade them for free?
I did, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing that should happen is it should be downgraded for free so you can get some cheap kills.
Yeah,
on
because
the
an
ground.
88 is just about as effective as a 12.8, but it has the ability to be able to use it as an anti-tank, and that
Correct.
is so key.
And since it doesn't cost you anything, there's no reason not to do it. So
Mm.
on Messiana, if you've got 388s and maybe you don't bring your weaker fighter on that map, maybe you do, but you hide him and then he sweeps in when it's safe, and then bring 4 level bombers. You can completely level those ships very quickly. And once the ships are level, then you can evacuate
Yeah.
the auxiliary, the Italian units. And as long as you are protecting your artillery really well with the 88s, I don't think those level bombers will do much damage.
What do you think about
It's,
selling the expensive Italian equipment, like the big anti tank and the big tank, and I think I sold off. Yeah, the big. Well, I what'd you think about? I got that one from Huck C. For the South, I upgraded one of the cheap Italian AAs to a big dog, like the Italian 88. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that. So that's how you get your third 88?
Oh,
Or
for that battle,
wait,
for the
oh,
South battle, and then I
yeah.
sold
I
it
don't
for
think that's.
Messina.
I don't think it's worth it though.
Oh no, I did it for North. I did it for North, so I didn't do it for
I
South
haven't.
because I thought I was going to keep South, but I ended up keeping North.
So what I'm imagining. So the core composition is very different from what you're imagining. It's going to be very strong air Luftwaffe division, and um, probably weaker on artillery. But that's not such a bad thing because the artillery is very vulnerable in Grand Campaign West. The other thing I'm wondering, you mentioned this as well, is I'm thinking that there is room for paratroopers. So, like maybe these two
Conscripts.
conscripts that we've got, maybe we upgrade those to paratroopers. It's not expensive, and if you get 2-star paratroopers, I think you could do a lot of damage. Because have you noticed on these maps that there's like open hexes in the back?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's not a bad
And I'm
idea.
wondering, so you know how I'm complaining about prestige all the time? I'm wondering if we had some paratroopers, if we could fix that problem. And also tactics change. There's a lot of sneaky stuff that you can do with paratroopers.
I think that has merit.
And it's possible that we might even want 3 paratroopers. And also if you think about it, it helps on soft cap, and it's not a huge investment. In fact, you could sell the. So we get a Crotchetson later. We could sell the Crotchetson and buy a paratrooper for the next map, and you're coming out ahead. And just have a fresh paratrooper, and then you get your 2 conscripts. And once you get the 2 conscripts to 2 stars, upgrade them to paratroopers.
Well, I was gonna wait to upgrade you to whatever hero you got.
I'm thinking it's not going to matter because I think that you're right. We need mobility, but we have to think creatively. How do we cheaply get mobility?
Hold on, I'm
Because
gonna.
you're constantly thinking, I'm going to race ahead with a tank, right? But I don't think that's actually right. I don't think it's the tanks that will fix the problems.
I'm
You
just
need to
gonna.
be able to sneak. You have to be able
You
to
just gave
sneak
me a
units
really
around.
good idea. That was a really good idea because I saw the. Oh crap. Okay, but this is free, so you could bring the Fallschirmjäger down here and land another Fallschirmjäger over here, and
And I
possibly
bet that
take
guy's
this guy
passive.
out.
I bet he's passive. Most of the units in the major hexes are passive, but you'd have to check the map editor.
One, two.
So
Let's.
imagine
I'm
if you
gonna
didn't
go
have to
to.
race south.
2, 3, 4.
So imagine if you didn't have to race south for these hexes. Instead, you can just fly paratroopers.
That's a brilliant idea. Ooh, what else I could
You
do?
know they're gonna.
I could also take another unit and what was that thing you did with Ola? You just dropped him. I could do that right
Yep,
here,
yep, you can do
and
that, and
it'll
he's not.
be suppressed. Or yeah. Oh, that's good.
The
That's.
other
Oh my
thing,
gosh, this
and
is
the
what
thing
I
is, now
needed.
you can. So here's the other thing, Goose. This is why level bombers are awesome. You don't have to rush your artillery down there. You just fly your level bombers because you want to get some suppression on these hexes, right?
Uh huh.
And you have to worry about like pioneers or grenadiers firing back because they're level bombers. People underestimate how powerful level bombers are. They help you do a ton of creative problem solving. They give you extra tactics. So you can set up a situation where a few units go collect those victory hexes. And then you would hold everywhere else. And the enemy, of course, is going to get pulled north.
Hmm.
I
And
think. I think that's how it'll work. I'm not. I mean, maybe the exact mechanics are much more tricky than what we're saying. But it's not just this map. I think there's earlier maps where if we had paratroopers, there's more we could do,
I
and it
agree.
might help.
I can't believe I didn't think of this.
Because what if there's more? I'm constantly worried about prestige. What if there's a way to get more prestige without having to have so many armored units? Because obviously, my planning is very low in armor, um, which is probably historically accurate, but that's not why I was doing it. It's just because it's expensive. The soft cap is murder.
Yeah.
Um, and if we can get more infantry, cheap infantry, we could possibly afford to overstrengthen the fighters and the anti-aircraft.
But you're talking about taking only these uh,
The
like
four tanks.
two, yeah, 4 tanks, and then would you even try to use the KV-1B or the
They have
1C?
no. They don't have. I don't. They don't have an upgrade path. Like that's it, right? KV-1C.
And a KV-1B.
It's it's probably good through 44, but by 45, I don't know. I also
Right. Well,
think they
you
would be
just
hard to get experience on.
well, that's what I've been using them for. I've been using them as basically fodder, and then I can give him regular replacements because he still retains that 1 star, and he's been good enough at that.
That is a possibility. If we found the need for more tanks, we could keep the KV-1Cs. Now, I don't like them because there's no upgrade path for them. I think that you're late war, you're going to run into a problem with those guys.
I didn't. I used him
I
at the first Taranto I sent you, but not the second because he doesn't have any speed. This guy has a lot
so
of
yeah.
speed. That's why I've been using
So I'm trying
Panthers.
to. So you would get a fifth tank in 44.
In 44, what's
So
the
what
fifth tank?
you'll get an SE tank in 44.
Oh yeah.
So what I'm envisioning is your speed demons are these 4 or 5 tanks, plus you'll have a Crotchetson, plus you'll have paratroopers. So what could be happening is that you let the enemy come to you and you sneak in the back to get some of these harder objectives and you use the tanks defensively, which would actually support the Tiger. They're very, very good defensive tanks. So you try to not be too adventurous, but I don't know how theoretically possible that is. It might be if you have enough paratroopers, right? We can always fly 3, right? So if we have 3
Sometimes four,
paratroopers and we're
sometimes
flying
3.
level, if we're flying level bombers all over the place, there's a lot that might be possible.
Yeah, I was really
And this is
surprised that
why
you didn't use your level bombers to attack any of the ships, at least towards the beginning of this scenario. You used the level bombers to
I
attack
didn't have
various
fight. I
units.
didn't. Well, I think wasn't there an issue that there was air defense?
Yeah, I think you're worried about the AA over here, but you never used it down here for or like any of the transport ships either.
Well, I thought I had bigger problems.
True.
You need to get the objective. The transport ships, you can't. It's you have too much. There's too much. You only have what is it, 24 slots here? It's not a lot.
20, yeah, 24. Yeah. And 12 turns
So
to
yeah, you can have
bust
it
it through, and that idea about using Foster Magler over here,
with
because I
level
think,
bombers. Like if you did it, yeah, if you use a level bomber, it would help.
because if you look at the amount of prestige that they get, or they start out with, it's minuscule. They are also operating, and that's the difference with playing Toronto. Knowing that they're limited, I used this very creative way. Let me pull up what I did.
I can't see because I think you have it on. Oh, here it goes.
Catanero, isn't that what this?
I can't see you. You just have a red
Catanzaro.
screen.
Oh, let me go back to share screen. Panzer Corps. There. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm just okay. Here we go.
Do you see it?
You're doing a stream. Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So yeah, what I did is I'll try to go back a little further in the playthrough. And it might require me to do the thing again. Do you need me to share screen again?
Yeah.
Okay. This is taking you back as far as I can go. And see, you remember the Italian units in Catanzaro? The Italian units right here? Do you see that?
I can't see.
Crap.
Can you share the screen or stream? You get something weird going on where you're doing a stream and you're trying to share a screen.
Do I do Richard Discord? Do I just do Panzer Corps?
Share your entire screen.
How do I do that? I'll just do screen one.
Doesn't it? Okay, here we go.
Does that work?
Okay, now I can see. Yeah,
Okay.
now I can see.
Sorry for that. So what I did is I'll just let you know. What I did is I posted all my units over here on the left. Nothing over here except 2 bombers. And I just played around bombing this area over here, not allowing them to take damage because they have that stupid one anti-aircraft, passive thing that they can do. So I didn't want to take damage on that because of that stupid little, the tanks that have the little gun on the top that can damage your stinking Uber Rudel. I think I took 1 damage, obviously. But what I did is I just kept wailing on them, and so then they would not have prestige to be able to get reinforcements on everything. I also did the same kind of thing with their planes, because they spend all their prestige first on planes, because planes go first. That's super expensive. Hey, that's a great way to limit what they can buy for their other units, and so you're able to push very quickly down here, destroy the counterattack that comes up, and
Do you think this would work better with paratroopers?
no, because what I did was more effective. I just concentrating everything over here to handle the counterattack that is just coming like insane gangbusters over here, and nothing is really holding this. They have they bring a recon that they keep in recon mode over here, and then they have this small force here that's like weak as all get out, and then they have this big counterattack. Well, if you're bombing it all the time, it's not very strong, and you can actually destroy it piecemeal, and you're able to move over here within.
I'll have to see this. I'm wondering if you can bomb that and then like sneak a paratrooper to get that hex
This
to the
one?
far right. Yeah.
They keep giving it replacements. That's what sucks. Is I had to replay the last turn, the turn 11 over because I didn't set it up correct for the last turn for turn 12.
Did you send me this one?
No, because I just finished it last night.
Okay. Well, I mean, there might be a lot of ways. I like the idea. This counterattack on the left is really, really serious business. I like the
Right.
idea of overwhelm, like put all the heavy hitting stuff over here. And if I could find a way to do that with all the armor and then not need armor for the right, that would be one way to try to solve the map.
Because once you've destroyed it, you destroy it right around here. Then you split up your force. You take this force over here, and the rest over here to wipe out this because what they don't have hardly anything holding this.
Yeah, the only issue is you're right. There's that armored group over there.
This armored group over
You only
here.
have Rudel. How can you destroy it with just Rudel though?
No, I destroyed it with Rudel on my this guy.
Oh, but how many tanks or how many armored units are there? It's like 5, right? Because I feel like
Oh, I didn't
you
want to.
don't have enough.
I wanted to restart. Okay, so looking at this, what I did is I deployed.
And how many armored units are to the right? It's like
We're
5,
gonna
isn't
take
it?
a look at that. No, there's 6 right here.
How can you destroy that in time? That I don't understand.
Okay,
How can you destroy 6?
I gotta remember where I deployed.
Because you have two tactical bombers, right?
Yep. And so this
But
this does not attack up. So you go boom and give it a bad day. And then I didn't let them damage me. Except once. And then so they buy replacements for these, but they can't buy replacements continually for these. So what I do is I concentrate on the ones that have the 1, and I don't attack these because this AA is over here. I don't attack these until I give them something else to worry about. Either I get I think I eliminated these 3 and then I started attacking them. As I said, screw it, I need to start weakening these. And once they don't have 1 star of experience, because they only give them regular replacements and they run out of prestige, it's very effective to do what I just did. And then I just bring over this like gangbusters and I set up traps so that they see their units and then they come and attack and they get double tapped with my 88 and my planes. And your planes are very effective on this battle. Not like Messina.
I wonder. I feel like that might work. So you can send 1 paratrooper to grab the far right hex. If you take out the armor.
Yeah, maybe.
Because aren't you're not out of range? Because okay, there's another armored unit that can hit
This
you.
is free.
1,
This
2, 3,
doesn't
4,
have
5.
anything, so you could just bring a ground unit over here. I just wanted to focus everything over here so that I destroyed it quickly.
So you have to figure out how to deal with the anti-aircraft gun. That's the only problem.
This weak anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah.
You're talking about that one?
Yeah, how do you deal with that one?
It's weak. It barely does any damage, if at all, to your units. Even your fighters. I would come over and attack their planes that would come over here because that AA unit hardly ever hits. Especially Priller and
I
stuff.
see. You could use Rudel because he has +9 defense
Correct.
as well. Okay.
Down
And,
here,
and
same
maybe a
thing.
fighter. Because if you could avoid sending armor over there, that would let you just really concentrate on the south. Okay. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took. I needed to play through it once, like I've seen played on YouTube and stuff, like you played and like I've seen other players play, and then I'm like, there's way too much that comes at you over here. You need to have a strong force here, and so how can I get away with not bringing this? So I took a look at the map and I'm looking at what they have deployed in the back here. I'm like, oh golly, you can sneak right over here And right over here, you could attack it from the back, but I still have to worry about this. Well, what do I do about that? And so that's messed around with, I think I can bomb them. Yeah, so I broke it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's I think that I haven't been creative enough with these maps. I haven't like thought outside of the box enough. It feels like there isn't enough creativity on the maps because the units are relentless. Not, your units are not scary to the enemy, uh, and there's endless waves of troops. So I felt like there wasn't a lot of creativity, and you have to defend a lot. But there might be more room for aggressive play.
West is a lot more creative, in my opinion. The East is just as simple as you have to deal with waves after wave after wave of units. How do you force them to surrender and break them up? Because you have way powerful units.
Well, I think East is really creative through Verozna. Uh,
You mean
if you look at the
Voronezh?
way of
You mean Voronezh?
Veroznas or however you say it, I think you have to admit when you look at how I have approached the maps, ingenious stuff, right?
Yeah.
I guess I did Sevastopol. Um, like I think that there is a lot of room for creativity, but then it's clearly over when you get to 43 because there's just too many units. Your creativity is very limited.
A lot of people have recommended me getting rid of the Nashorn, and I just can't do it. It's so
It's not
fast.
impressive.
It's so fast. It's so powerful. It's 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 my baby, and it's great at luring these little jerks to attack it because it sees it as super vulnerable. So I got plans for my Nashorn. It's at 4 stars now. It's a beauty. It's a thing of beauty. I'm waiting to get a second hero.
I think it's just a question of efficiency. Like you're going to take less damage, you're going to get more kills easily with Stugs, ultimately.
Yeah, I agree with Bricata and his whole take on having unit diversity. It creates, I find it, like he finds it, more interesting. Interesting to play with, interesting to work with.
Well, the thing is, if you're playing on ultimate mode, it's not about unit diversity. It's about efficiency in the extreme. There's no room for I want to toy around with this weak artillery piece. It's survival.
Yeah, yeah, but and I do have a Stuke. I love my
Now you have
Stuke.
to. If you look at my latest playthrough, though, my core was getting weaker. You'll notice that I was not using overpowered units.
What do you
I was
mean?
actually showing that, like, I didn't necessarily, or maybe I did have the latest upgrades, but I was using more infantry. I think
Yeah.
I'm much better about using more infantry, and I've even shown that in 40 you don't need a movement plus 188 to be there to be successful.
What do you mean by that?
So Soren kind of like solved those maps in 40, but he always had a movement plus 188, which was
Yeah.
really helpful. But
Yeah.
I've found a way to be almost as successful without a movement plus one.
Are you
Like,
rethinking what is it? Safe's coming to get a +1 movement hero as the first hero
well, what
for
I was
maybe.
thinking is, um, people would probably like to see live plays. I think I did live plays for. Did I do live plays for every 39 map? Or I did live plays up to Spoils of War.
Okay.
I think I did that, right? I showed a live play of Spoils of War, which is totally insane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's been a while.
But right, but I think that the issue is I adjusted the weather, and I guess it wasn't an issue in 39 because it didn't have, but probably people would prefer to see it done with your traditional weather and without reloading for heroes. So
I
like imagine playing ultimate mode and you've got a bunch of spotting +1 and defense heroes on your artillery. I think it'd be interesting, like you would play maps differently if you just accepted the heroes that you got.
that's one of the things that I really enjoy about Pathetic Gamer is he just takes it as is. I watched his latest broadcast and he lost a 15 strength +1 movement 21 centimeter Nebel Warfer. He just accepted it. That's well, he cried, but his little fun cry. But but he and he
But speaking of pathetic gamer, I think another major efficiency improvement that would solve a lot of problems is that he's the first person I ever saw that bought 488 guns.
huh?
And I thought it was really dumb. He bought 488 guns, I think, at 39.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was really dumb. Like, okay, why are you doing that? You only need two. But if you think about it, it's actually ingenious. What is the biggest issue with the 7.1 and 7.2 anti-aircraft?
They suck.
No, they don't suck. They're amazing, but they have a hard time getting kills early, right?
Right, yeah.
So what if you bought 488 guns and rushed them to two heroes? Because you can play, I think you can play through 42 without mobile AA. Am I right about that? I think you can.
I don't use mobile AA except for one. I did until I got
But
Gosi
but
over here.
imagine,
Or Cook. He he got a +1 movement and he was a 7.1 or whatever, and I changed him to an 88 because he's got a +1 movement.
but but imagine that you took 488s and you leveled them all up at the same time, and you get them their heroes, and then you upgrade them to mobile AA.
Go on.
All of the problems with them disappear. Mobile AA is very, very strong 43 on, and it gets even stronger 44 on. And you're going to rack up a crazy amount of kills
With
because the Air
mobile
Force
wagon
is so
and stuff like
relentless.
that?
Well, I would just, I think a 7.1 is fine. Like, I don't think you need to get like a crazy, like super expensive mobile AA. But imagine that you rack up tremendous kill totals with the 88s and then pick two of them and then upgrade those two to a 7.1.
Didn't you use the 7.2?
I don't think it's necessary.
I prefer the
I think it's
7.1
just
because it has a higher rate of fire. It fires
right,
at
and it's cheaper.
1.4. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're getting into the weeds here. It's
Sorry.
about efficiency.
Yeah.
So, well, no, for the audience. So it's about efficiency. The 88s are expensive, and you don't really want to deploy more than two at a time. And mobile AA helps with soft cap, and it's mobile. So, like, there's benefits on these maps where you're trying to be aggressive. So, but the issue is you can't get the heroes, right? But what if you just use them as an 88 through 42, and you rotate? You're going to constantly bring 388s, two or three from 41 on, right? So you just constantly rotate these guys, and then you get them their heroes and their stars, and then you don't have a problem anymore.
I don't
It's
know,
an
man.
ingenious idea. It's an ingenious idea because then it's easy to get the third hero. Because you're going to be getting insane kill totals in 44. If you watch Soren and how he's playing, you're just going to rack up gargantuan kill totals with mobile AA or
Is that
your
is that
flat
one of the
guns,
things that he's doing that you talked about? Is that what he's doing? He's using
Well,
mobile
I
AA?
would. Yeah, of course he is. I mean, he's probably, I don't know if he's the best at it, but he's the most aggressive with it. And I am completely sold on mobile AA. They're very, very, very strong. It's just a question of can you get enough kills on them. But this is where Pathetic Gamer comes in because he was using 88s. He had 4 of them immediately. And I'm like, wait a minute. What if you just use these guys and rotate them in the first like 4 years of the war? Because you can blow by 2,000 kills. Like if you were to sum up the kill total of your 4 anti-aircraft, you should be at 2,600 minimum by the end of 42.
2,600
so if you take 20
88.
for if you had all of your anti-aircraft, minimum 2,600. So if you divide that by 4, you're looking at 650 kills on average, and that's minimum. And my guess is if you've got 4 88s to the first 4 years of the war, you're probably pushing 3,000 kills. So if you take 3,000 kills and divide by 4, you're at 750. So it would make it so you can get your second hero quickly. You can get away with, I think you can use 88s in the first 3 scenarios in 43 if you're good. So you can really rack up kills. And then once they get the second hero and they're 4 stars, your mobile AA is going to be devastating from then on. And you're going to have a pretty good chance of getting a third hero.
Well, that's a thought.
Think about that. Think about how crazy that idea is. And I only thought of it because I was thinking about, well, is Soren going to actually get 3 heroes on his mobile? I don't know. Maybe he will. But what if we just fix it? So there's a kill inefficiency with what is getting a kill when. And I've noticed everybody is struggling with getting lots of kills on the mobile AA, and I think it's because we shouldn't buy them as mobile AA. We should buy them as 88s. It's ingenious if you think about it, because we know an 88 can comfortably rack up a ton of kills. Especially with the way we're using them. And 42 is definitely a year you can use the 88 all the time. You just have to be like smart about it.
Yeah.
And then, so like that would be crazy because then you could have all of these really experienced mobile units with excellent heroes, possibly. And then no one's complaining about them anymore.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. I wonder if you'd drop that to Pathetic Gamer since he's going to be doing a Rommel playthrough here pretty soon. He might be interested.
Oh, he's doing. Yeah, it would be. It would just make your anti-aircraft much stronger.
Right. All right, Richard. I think we're going to call this a broadcast. This has been very helpful. I'm serious. This is that one little bit. The whole idea of using paratroopers for the free. I'm sorry. The blank, not held areas of the map. That is a game changer, and I really hope that helps me come up with a way of breaking that map. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. And as always, stay Lutheran, my friends. Thanks for watching.